I mean, he really looked like he was going to be a stud for a long time, but his career quickly fizzled out. What is up, Bills Mafia? We have 194 days to go until the Buffalo Bills win Super Bowl 57, and this channel is documenting every single day leading up to that amazing moment with a video. Well, preseason is really upon us now. The Hall of Fame game, Thursday night. Man, when you see that game for the first time, if you're like me, you tune in, you're like, oh, it's football! And then you watch for a few plays and you're like, it's not quite football just yet. It's still kind of just a elevated, glorified practice. But that is okay because it's football and it's back. And it makes you start thinking about the Bills' first preseason game. And that's coming up, just about 9 days after that. And we're taking on the Indianapolis Colts. Not that it really matters. We're not going to be game planning for the Colts or anything like that. We're going to get our second teamers and third teamers out there to see what we have. And so that's what this video is about. I would like to just share with you the guys that I am most looking forward to seeing on the field. And it's pretty simple. I mean, it's probably the same guys that we all want to see. Number one, James Cook, the running back. Like, what's this guy going to bring, right? I don't really give the running backs much attention, but this guy has got me intrigued. When we drafted CJ Spiller, we were excited because he was a top running back in that draft. I think he was the overall top running back prospect. And I can remember him in preseason, and he really dazzled. He was fast. He was around the corner. He had these moves, and I thought, wow, we got a running back here. And, he went on to have a very, very modest career overall in the NFL. He had a couple good seasons with the Bills, nothing spectacular. And then I think of another running back that we got that we didn't really have much, intrigue about, and that was Carlos Williams out of Florida State. He was definitely a top running back prospect, and then he came into the NFL, and he really looked like he was going to be a stud for a long time, but his career quickly fizzled out. That's another running back I can remember the Bills getting. But besides that, running backs are kind of somewhat of a coin flip. You just never know what you're going to get with a running back. A lot of these guys that become superstar running backs, they're not drafted until later in the rounds, or sometimes they're just not even drafted at all. But anyway, that aside, James Cook, definitely my top guy that I'm looking forward to seeing. I have a feeling he's just going to really light things up in preseason and really give us some hope that we got a playmaker in the backfield. Not that we don't have some pretty good running backs now. Devin Singletary and Zach Moss, they're serviceable. They get the job done, but we obviously just need that running back that makes magic happen. And I think James Cook might be that guy. Obviously, you're all going to be watching Kaiir Elam and how he performs. Now, this is an interesting situation with Kaiir Elam. Obviously, he's got to get on the field and play. But I assume he's going to be a starter this season, right away, game one. So how much do you play him? Do you get him out there for 3, 4, 5 defensive series in a couple of these games, or is it less? Or do you play him more? He's got to get, a feel for the NFL, the speed of the game. But other than that, once he gets his feet wet, I'm not sure that the Bills necessarily need to play him that much. He's apparently looked really good in camp, so I don't know. Get him out there for a few series, let him, burn some rubber, and then get him off the field. I'd like to know what you think on that. I don't think he needs to play that much. The other draft picks that we have, Terrell Bernard, just let him play a ton. Our wide receiver, Khalil Shakir, I like to see him, get some good reps in there, but he's not going to be catching passes from Josh Allen, so I'm not sure that he even needs to be out there that much. Get him in for 4 or 5 offensive series. In the first game, second game, he doesn't need to play the third game as far as I'm concerned. But, he also, like Kaiir Elam, needs to really get a sense of like what type of game the NFL, what type of game he's going to experience in the NFL. All right, beyond that, Buffalo Bills players that I would also like to see is, I'd like to see Gregory Rousseau out there. I think he needs to get some knocks in, feel some thumping to get him ready for the season. Again, not too much. Doesn't need to be out there a ton. Ed Oliver doesn't need to be out there. I obviously don't think Stephon Diggs, Gabriel Davis, definitely not Josh Allen. I don't think they need to play it down. I would be fine if they don't play one down in preseason. And if they do, maybe 1 or 2 series at the most in the second preseason game. I think that would be plenty. Lots of other players that we'll be interested in seeing. We have, of course, a good battle at defensive back with Dane Jackson. Be interesting to see, how much they play him. And the big news out of camp today, of course, is Jordan Poyer. And he is going to be out, I think, a few weeks. I heard of it, it's a hyperextension of the elbow. I'll have to just have to keep our eye on that one and, hope that he is back. It doesn't sound like it's going to be too serious. And then finally, Trey White, man, I hope he's ready to come back within the first week or two of the season. There you go. My video for the night is asking you, what you're looking forward to seeing in preseason. The rookies, of course. Anything else that I missed? Would love to know. So comment below. See you tomorrow.